The old saying goes, sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball, and sometimes you just get the hell beat out of you by Oklahoma.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Luke Robinson. That's Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. This is Locked On Bama. That was god-awful. That, Jimmy, as somebody said in our Discord, maybe Luke needs to go on another rant about how bad the baseball team is to get him motivated. That was as bad a performance as you could possibly do on this stage. Now, before everybody says, I'm going to use this twice, once in this segment, once in the next segment. Before anybody says, oh, y'all are turning on him, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not turning. I love Rob Vaughn. I want Rob Vaughn to be here forever. But it doesn't mask the fact that today's performance was putrid. It was partially because of a freshman 6'6", 230 pounds who was throwing heat, and partially because we let somebody turn their ankle and then Kirk Gibson us in the third inning.
So funny.
It was, and then we just couldn't hit. We couldn't do much of anything, and it was bad. And it's okay to call a spade, and this spade was a club.
Yeah, credit Oklahoma, a really good team, obviously, or they wouldn't be here. They won their way here because they're really good. That freshman pitcher, that guy is an absolute dude. I don't be shocked if 2 years from now he's like number one pick in the draft good. I mean, that's crazy good. And he made us look really bad. And this team, as we've talked about all year, Alabama's vacillated between being kind of phenomenal and not good at all. And today we saw some of not good at all, but I'm going to credit Oklahoma and that pitcher. And then they bring in a guy in the eighth inning that was a former starter that also was phenomenal. And look, Oklahoma may lose to the winner of Georgia, Texas, but in large part because they just burned the pitcher that would very likely beat Georgia or Texas.
Hits.
That's good. And Tyler Faye's had better days, and today wasn't one of those days. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't great. And
well,
then
it's bad, Jimmy. I'm not a baseball aficionado, as you know.
Yeah.
I don't really like baseball that much, and today reminded me why. But I did watch this entire game except for the bottom of the ninth when we already had an out, so I was getting ready for this. But I know it's bad. I think the first hitter got on in the first three innings. We put the first batter.
And I think he was 0-2 on like all those guys. He was up 0-2, and then they were getting hits and getting on. He was close to having a good day, but it wasn't a great day for Tyler Faye. And a phenomenal day for Cord, their starter. He's really good. They say great pitching beats great hitting. I'm not sure that Alabama's a great hitting team. They're really not, but that was a great pitcher who was just absolutely on his game. And hey, I don't want to do we're just lucky enough to be here. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is say, hey, we earned our way here. Alabama had a phenomenal year, great year, and then you get here and everybody's good, and their pitcher was just too good. Now let's see what happens Monday. It feels like an even taller hill because Georgia and Texas have both been better than Oklahoma all year. But hey, as long as we're not facing that same pitcher again, I don't know who they're going to run out. I don't know who Georgia or Texas's number 2 is. I don't know if he's going to throw any better than Oklahoma's number 1 did today. And by the way, when Alabama beat Oklahoma, for those that didn't catch on to this, Alabama beat Oklahoma 2 of 3 in Norman earlier this year. That kid was hurt. He didn't pitch, and he's number 1. He was their number 1. He didn't pitch that whole weekend series, and
and that look.
Oof.
Again, I'm with Jimmy here. We want it's a fine line you have to walk when you do a show like this because when you lose, you don't want to go all Feinbaum. And I love Paul Feinbaum. I really do.
A lot of people listening to us want us to vent.
They want us to vent.
Some of the people listening, they want us to vent. And I understand that.
Both things can be true. It's been a phenomenal year. We're ahead of the curve. We're further along than I thought we'd be, and recruiting's going well in baseball. And today sucked. Both things can be true.
That's true. Both things can be true.
And it was today was so bad that I don't know how Monday could be worse, no matter what happens. Honestly,
I don't think Monday will be worse, even though we're going to be an underdog on Monday. We're going to be an underdog because Georgia won the SEC. They won the regular season. I think, as good as Oklahoma was today, I think Texas is going to win the World Series.
Could be.
That's my pick. So,
I'm going to tell you this. Let me tell you what this butt whooping did for me. It makes it where I ain't got to watch tonight. I'm thankful for that because I was going to watch Texas, Oklahoma had we won. I mean, Texas and Georgia had we won. And I was going to be like, okay, let me try and figure out. Now I don't have to figure out nothing.
I'm watching a TV show I'm hooked on that you probably watched 10 years ago, like the rest of America. And usually I'm several years behind when it comes to TV. Have you seen Billions on Showtime? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I never did. I didn't have Showtime. I always had HBO. I was an HBO.
Right.
And so I never got Showtime. I had Showtime when Dexter was on.
So
but Billions is good. Billions to me is like Succession on HBO.
It's
probably too smart for me. Like when they get into a lot of that financial stuff, I'm like,
I agree.
I got to take y'all's word for it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Some of it, the hedge fund stuff goes kind of over my head. But man, Paul Giamatti and Damian Lewis, he's the billionaire guy. I love this show's great. As usual, I'm 10 years behind everybody else, but I'm like, this is phenomenal. Why isn't the whole world talking about this? Well, they probably were 10 years ago while I was watching sports and music videos.
And by the way, I highly recommend. There was some. I rewatched some Games of Thrones today. Somebody said Jimmy's clock is stopped behind you. That is where we are. The telecast. People are like, I'm so tired of talking about baseball. I'm going to look at the stuff behind Luke and Jimmy.
Here's some more inside baseball. I don't like where that clock sits, so I switched it the other day to somewhere. I switched it and put another Alabama thing there, and then I came back 10 minutes later, and the clock, and I'm like, yeah, the wife didn't care for my decorating.
Yeah, I got it.
Clock was right back where it was. We didn't even have a conversation. We didn't even have a conversation about it. The clock was right back where it was. I'm like, I just moved that clock.
So going back to baseball, look, Monday, new day, just go out there and if I'm Rob Vaughn, what I tell the team is, hey guys, it ain't going to get any worse. Just go out there. Because I am seeing some guys say on there, say that was embarrassing. This team is pathetic. This team is not pathetic. They got the hell beat out of them today. And it's okay. And the goal every year, you can say the goal is win a national championship, but we've never done it in baseball. So to me,
the final game twice.
Yeah,
but we've never won the national title.
To me, the goal is to make the CWS and let the rough end drag. So I look at it like to me, it's I hate to do this because some people say I bring Auburn too much into these conversations, but like there's some Auburn people who are mad at Butch Thompson or whatever because he's 0-4 in the last two supers. Just give me the opportunity to be there. Yeah, if you're 0-4, that sucks. It hurts. It stings. But how many other programs have done that? Not many. So how many other programs made the College World Series? 7 other teams. We're one of them.
A lot of the Alabama fans very upset today. Were upset last year in the postseason. Alabama went 0-2 in the regional in Hattiesburg. They had to go on the road to the regional to play Southern Miss. They're like a midweek opponent for us, right?
Yeah.
But they're very good. And we lost to, I think, Southern Miss and Miami down there in Hattiesburg. And a lot of people are up like, oh, this is what we're going to get from Rob Vaughn. He can't win regional. No, he won the regional. He won the super regional. Now in the World Series. And I get people that were like, boy, that wasn't great today. It wasn't great today. It was the opposite of great today. They looked outclassed, which is bad. But hey, it also is baseball. I mean, who knows who's going to win? The Braves, I think, they're good. I think they have the best record of the major leagues. They've lost 3 games in a row. I mean, but this is baseball too. It's not.
Made my day.
It's not football. Yeah. Now Luke's mood improves. But the Braves have lost 3 in a row. And, the Dodgers are probably in reality the best team in the league, and they don't even have the best record. Baseball it's not football. It's not, there's going to be losses, and you're going to play good teams and run up against good pitchers. And I'll continually give shout out to what was his name? Cord Rager, Rager.
What a name, too.
Yeah, I know. And
he looks like a guy named Cord Ranger. If he showed up at the bar, you'd be like, "Oh my God, that's Cord Ranger!" Like, you know him? No, I've never even heard those two words together before. He looks like a Cord Ranger. But
I'm serious. I watch it. I'm like, this guy was in high school. That guy was in high school a year ago. Did he give up? Did he just strike out everyone he faced and in a season? How could a normal high school hitter have a chance? And why was he not a first round pick? Now, but I don't know his whole story. I just know the dude that I saw tonight is a first round pick in the draft. There's no question in my mind.
Let me say this. I don't remember exactly how badly Alabama lost in basketball, but it wasn't good to Michigan. But did we lose by 10? We lost by double digits.
It felt worse because it felt like we're not nearly as good as they are. I mean, that's just when we lost to Michigan. I felt like we're good, or we wouldn't be here. But we're not nearly as good as they are, and that's okay.
While this season isn't over for baseball, it's kind of. I mean, I'm resigned to anything else. A win now is just gravy. But my point is, we get the hell beat out of us essentially in the last game of baseball. Get the hell beat out of us last game in basketball. Get the hell beat out of us last game in football. That's a trend I don't like. I love Greg Byrne as much as any human being on this planet. I love me some Greg Byrne. None of this is. I don't want anybody to think that's a shot at Greg Byrne. I'm just saying that's not a good trio. While at the same time we were in the playoffs of all of them.
Yeah, we're getting to the game where we run up against the true elite. That's what we're doing in all three. We're earning our way to face the true elite. Then it doesn't go great.
One comment from my buddy Justin Clayton, who is an Alb, but who is a nice Alb.
He's
also
loss?
Incredible with technology. I'm always scared to make fun of him because I'm scared he'll throw my identity out there. I wish somebody would steal my identity. They'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm in a load of debt."
I think my answer to his question, for those who can't see it, worst loss: Michigan in basketball, Indiana in football. This one in baseball. I would say it's Indiana. I would say it's Indiana in football, just simply because football. We have a football show here. This is a football show, and Indiana truly did smoke us, particularly in the second half. And I think it was eye-opening because it not only was a beatdown. For instance, I don't know that Alabama is going to do things too differently in baseball as a result of today's game, but Alabama football sort of changed course as to that Indiana. It was like, we've got to get better up front on both sides of the ball, and they immediately addressed it in the portal. On the offensive line, the defensive line, and the whole focus of running the ball and hiring Richard Owens, hiring Adrian Clem. I think the football team, the football program had a program-wide response to the beatdown from Indiana. I think Nate Oates is just keeping on. Well, Nate said we need to get a little bigger in basketball. So, Nate, the Michigan beatdown caused us to intentionally get bigger up front. So maybe there was a basketball response. I don't think there'll be a baseball response. I think we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing, which is great. But you just got to get better all around. I think with baseball, though, one thing I want to point out, we have an older team. Our baseball team is like Indiana football in that sense. We have an older team in baseball. We have a lot of seniors. And I think the goal for me in baseball, or what I would tell Rob Vaughn, is I think you're winning right now because Tyler Fay is like 24, 25 years old. And so is Brady Neal. So is Bryce Fowler's fifth year. We have a lot of fifth year guys and seniors, Jason Torres, Brennan Holtz, in a fifth year. We've got to get more talented. We got to get more talented and not veteran. This Alabama baseball team it's a veteran bunch. We got to get more talented. Oklahoma's dude that beat the crap out of us today, talent. Dude, real talent. So get more talented. And I think we are. I think we're recruiting better. And boy, Miles Upchurch, Eric Hines, they're freshmen.
Love
They're
Eric
freshmen. Their time is coming, but the talent is there with guys like Hines and Upchurch. Just like, hey, more of that, please.
Going to tell everybody now about FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of the game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes tournament soccer so exciting. From the opening whistle to the final kick. Now FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal page. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token. That's all you got to do. And FanDuel is just right there making things better for you. So go to FanDuel.com and get started. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel at FanDuel.com. That's where you want to go. Go over there and get this done. You'll love it. It's a Jimmy Stein guarantee. We ain't playing around over here. So we had some bad news, and now
more bad.
In a lot of people's world, this is worse news. Kenneth Simon decommits from Alabama. He actually he flips. He doesn't even take the time to decommit and then act like it. No, he flips right to Tennessee. He was one of the highly rated players in this class. It is not sitting well with the masses, which I totally understand. It is feeling like I've seen some people say things to the extent of, hey, he was playing us the whole time. No. This was a setup from Tennessee. No. I don't think, honest to God, I don't think recruiting ever works that way. Let me tell you something. If a kid ever did something like that, if you could ever convince a kid to like screw around with another school like that, can you trust that kid? That'd be what I say. I don't think if
that's a great point.
It's sort of like if you're going out with a married woman and you know she's married, everybody knows, and you're like, well, when she divorces him, we're sticking together. You're probably not.
These kids aren't the CIA. They're not CIA agents in the field acting undercover in old Soviet Union. They're not. What he had is what all of us do in all of our lives when we're making big decisions. He had a change of heart. He in the end, he could not play for anyone but Tennessee, which is what we all assumed originally. All of us, including me and Luke, like when Kenneth Simon committed to Alabama, it's like, that guy's not going to play for Tennessee because this really felt and looked like Tennessee. It's going to be Tennessee. And I think, but I'm not upset. There's no reason to be upset with anyone here. If you want to be critical of Alabama, I'd be critical of them in this sense. I'm not saying they should have seen this coming, but because of Kenneth Simon's connections to Tennessee, you sort of needed to already have the guy up in the bullpen, if you know what I'm saying. Like there already needed to be a plan B ready to be launched because this wasn't that shocking, No, but that said, it is bad. I mean, one thing that frustrates me, and doing these type shows is I think sometimes people want us to be upset and vent and yell. Look, what I prefer to do is give the impression of what's going on in the football building. They're not yelling and venting and screaming and you know what they did? They moved to plan B. Okay, what's the smartest thing to do from this point? And, whether that's going to another linebacker, whether it's punting to the portal, whether I don't know, but the same conversations that we're having here, they're having in the football building today, which is, okay, where do we go from here? But it's not screaming and venting and hollering and pointing fingers and saying it's your fault. No, it's your fault. Or, oh, this is all going to hell. They don't do that. They smartly move on to the next smart plan. So, that's what I like to focus on is, okay, what's the next smart plan? Now, just speaking for myself, I'm a big Isaac McNeil fan. I have been from the very start. And for those that are like, that spin, well, McNeil's actually ranked higher than Kenneth Simon. So I'm not the only one with that opinion, or McNeil wouldn't be ranked higher than Simon. Now, maybe that ship has sailed. Maybe it has, because, he's committed to Auburn, and as an in-state guy, maybe it's impossible to get on board there. Maybe they don't even want to. I mean, he wasn't a high priority for them the first time around. So I don't know. Also, as a homer, I like Ellis McGaskin quite a bit. He's committed to Florida. That plays the same position. He was committed to Notre Dame, flipped. Now he's Florida. He's undersized, but a comp for him is QB Reese.
Mm-hmm.
He's very similar. We love QB Reese. He's very similar to QB Reese, who's doing well at Alabama. And I think McGaskin is a similar kid to him. But I don't know that Alabama's going to go in that direction. It's just the first thought that I have was, okay, give Isaac McNeil a call and let's find out. See, it's one of two things with him. He either loves Auburn and wants to be at Auburn and is perfectly content and locked in, understandable, or maybe Alabama was his favorite all along and he wanted to go to Alabama, but he wasn't number one on Alabama's board. Kenneth Simon was. Well, now Simon's gone. Now, so maybe it's that situation. You don't know. Alabama knows, or they got a good idea. All these kids have agents. Sometimes you give the agent a call, when they're already committed, to see, hey, is this truly over? Regardless, no reason to think that it's all over. But man, this is not good timing. A lot of Alabama fans disappointed in this recruiting cycle. I fully get it. So that's why the timing of this doesn't feel great, because so many fans were already like, this was already going to be our lowest rated group, and now this happens. So I get the sad faces out there.
Not only that, Andrew Bone posted something today. He was like, look, this class ranking just isn't going to be high because of numbers. He said if they get Osani Gales and Monshawn Sales and Elijah Haven stays, and who else?
Step, Mitchell Turner. These are highly rated guys.
Mitchell Turner. You get those guys. He said it's still not going to be ranked very high because we don't have the numbers. And so I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me as long as I know some of the guys in this lack of numbers are really good players. And
that's right.
Look, I'm not saying that they won't go get somebody good. Justin Clayton also, he said, y'all chill out with McNeil, go for Chicken Garrett. They don't play the same position. So I don't think.
Position.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
And but as far as Isaac McNeil goes, I'm like you. Look, I was fine with their taking Kenneth Simon when I thought, okay, they like Kenneth Simon better. They obviously did. They pursued him more. Whether it's right or wrong, the staff liked him more. But now they've been burned by it. So now I think where people are going to get PO'd, and I get this. I'm not one of them, but I get it. They're going to be like, why didn't you just go after the guy that's in state? That's essentially the same player.
Right. Well, I don't think they're essentially the same player, which is why now here's Jimmy's opinion, which is not the opinion of the football staff, nor should it be, nor should it really matter. Jimmy's opinion, they're essentially the same player because I kind of rank them the same. But here's where Alabama's going to look at this differently. Simon is a more versatile talent. He's a safety in the 9th and 10th grade. He can line up on the edge. He's got great intangibles. Dab was not only a great player, but a coach. You can move him around. He's a chess piece. McNeil is a little more old school thumper, or I would call it new school thumper, or use that term. McNeil's a little bit more of a standard, what you always look for in an inside linebacker. I don't know that he's got the range or ability to play in the space that Simon does. So in that sense, it's not the same guy. But to Jimmy, it is, because I sort of would rate them the same. Like, hey, from 1 to 10, how do you feel about Simon? I go, 8.5. Well, how do you feel about McNeil? 8.5. I mean, to me, it's in that sense, they're the same. And again, the Rivals industry ranking, McNeil is higher than Simon. So if you do land McNeil, and hey, for all I know, McNeil's not going to return a call. For all I know, Alabama's not going to call him. They're gonna do something else. I'm just saying that's what I would do. But there's a reason that I'm podcast guy and not inside linebacker coach guy.
Yeah,
I
and
readily admit that.
that.
Boy, they do. You nailed that.
Now, first of all, my first thought when you said that was Isaac McNeil's agent, I'm sure will go, yeah, I'll take the call. Because I'm sure every agent takes the call every time. That's the world we live in now.
Yeah, because they're like, can I interest you in this 10th grader at Baker? I mean, they're like the car salesman.
Let me say this too. I didn't want to lose Ken Simon. I was totally fine taking Simon over McNeil. But I'll say this as a college football fan, considering how many folks switch commitments for the bag, they chase the bag, they chase the glory, and it happens all the time. It happens for Alabama. It happens against Alabama. This was not one of those times. Kenneth Simon is a Tennessee guy.
This wasn't a bag.
It wasn't a bag. He just, in the end, he was like, he's been looking for a reason to get back together with Tennessee. And they gave him one, and God bless him. I'm not mad at him. I mean, to be mad at him would be, I think, hypocritical of me, because what if there was an Alabama guy that, and we've seen this where they commit somewhere else and then we woo them back because we're like, Alabama, you've always loved us. He's like, yeah, I'm coming back to you. So I'm not going to be mad at him. The timing of this could not be worse. And here's the other thing that makes it worse. This is going to make people appreciate less when Osani Gales commits to Alabama. It's going to be like, well, that feels like, a whole lot of nothing after losing Kenneth Simon. He's actually rated higher than Kenneth Simon.
Way high, even way higher. To me,
but he plays a position though. We need linebackers.
Yeah, and we need big time receivers. We do have enough receivers on scholarship, but if you break down the wide receiver group, I don't think we have enough. And I'm looking for new terms. It's a new world, which requires new terms.
Yeah,
I'm looking for a new term to describe the difference between rev share NIL guys versus 105 guys.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough rev share NIL guys at wide receiver. Now, when you count the 105 guys, we have ample wide receivers on scholarship, but I don't think we have enough guys that we identify as dudes.
Army EP6FZ says, hey, we might sign somebody with more experience out of the portal. We might, awesome. But all I can deal with is the facts we have right now. We might sign the best linebacker in the portal. I don't know.
We did last year with Caleb Woodson. We signed an excellent inside linebacker in the portal, and the cycle before that, we signed Nakai Hill-Green. So it was who was good. He was good. He wasn't awesome, but he was good. So we've had some experience signing guys.
Blow smoke guy though. I don't want to. I don't want people jumping off the ledge. At the same time, this is not nothing. This is a problem, bad. And the optics of it are worse than what it actually is to me. The optics are worse.
I agree with that, because he was kind of the second best guy in what was already a class that, the people that are prone to act like we recruit like Kansas, or we're a Kansas level football program, they're enjoying today, because like I told y'all, we're just terrible now. And this feeds into that. But
the Jayhawks catching strays from Jimmy today.
I just had to pick out somebody that wasn't elite, and sorry, Kansas.
There's one guy in Kansas listening and going, why? What?
You do have a good coach. Y'all need better players, I guess. The basketball's got to figure it out over there for sure. But this is bad, and I never want to be. I know it's sometimes viewed as the sunshine pumper, and things are always. This isn't great. It's not. No one's saying it's good. What I'm saying is, hey, this could be worse. He could have done this a week before signing day, and then you can do nothing about it. You got 6 months now. You got the portal now. You got other guys to evaluate. As a matter of fact, the number one inside linebacker in the country, Caden Henderson from Tampa, he's not committed anywhere. Now, of course, he's got a heavy lean to Ohio State. You could go circle back to Prince Goolsby, who is also committed to Ohio State, but he liked Alabama a lot at one point. Circle back to McNeil, circle back to Ellis McGaskin. You have some options here, or at least guys to look at. One other point I want to make real quick, because I saw some confusion on this earlier. Aiden Coleman from Louisville, Mississippi, he is likely to pick Alabama. He may not, but he's likely to pick Alabama soon. That is not a response to the Simon thing. It has nothing to do with that. They were going to take Coleman anyway
That's
as a
coming, man.
second guy, but he's a second guy. He's a 105 guy, a scholarship only type guy. By the way, some of these scholarship only guys, I talk about it all the time. I want to talk about it 100 more times because it's going to be one of my favorite stories on the team when this happens. Some of these 105 guys, Luke, are going to prove to be one of the best players on the team, and I'm going to love it when it happens. That's going to be fun when one of those 105 guys proves to be one of our best players.
We're going to wrap it up, but I did want to point this out. Moneyman86 or J Moneyman86 says this staff has made the Bama fan experience stressful and not as fun. No, this staff has made it where you're still a blue blood program, but you're not Nick Saban's blue blood program.
Yeah.
That's all. Because before pre-Nick Saban and post-Bear to pre-Nick Saban, this is how we lived. This is how we lived all the time. And it is very difficult for younger generation. I'm assuming Jay Moneyman is a younger generation, but for people as old as Jimmy and me, it is.
We're old.
We know. I mean, we look, and we were. I think we were both in school in '92 when we won it all. It was awesome. It was phenomenal. But then we also had some 1997s, and we had some 2000. Yeah.
Oh gosh, 2006 was bad. But you know, for those who expected DeBoer to continue what Saban was doing, this has to be really difficult for y'all. Me and Luke aren't two of those people because there was always going to be a step back. Now factor this in. It's a different world. It's a different world. Nick Saban wouldn't be doing now what he did then. It's a different world. So we've got those two things working against us. We're no longer coached by a cyborg from outer space. We're coached by an actual human being. And secondly, the landscape changed to where dominating recruiting and dominating on the field. I mean, Indiana just won the national championship. Indiana won the national championship.
Okay.
I mean, it's a new world, and you've got to adapt to that, or you're going to be depressed all the time. I'm not upset with DeBoer about recruiting. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about in the shows later this week. Again, we'll talk about over and over again about why the 27 class is going to look like it looks. There are reasons. It's not because we're trying to sign guys and can't or won't, or there's reasons behind all of it. But yeah, the Kenneth Simon thing is bad news. It's not good.
So we're going to end it here, but tomorrow we'll do a show probably later on in the morning, and we're going to do Jimmy's roster countdown. Have two guys to do tomorrow.
Oh, you did it again.
I did it again.
And
then also I had I signed up for Chat GPT, to try and do some work stuff, social media stuff. But I just said, tell me what Alabama's record is going to be next year. Chat GPT laid it out. You're going to be shocked with what they said. So we'll do all that tomorrow.
I don't know anything about this. I can't wait to listen to my own show tomorrow. This is
how we do every show, though.
We're about to be off the air, and we're going to talk off air. And I'll tell you guys right now, I'm not even going to ask him. I don't want to know. I'm going to find out with you guys.
Ask me if you want to. I ain't telling you.
I'm not going to ask. I'm going to instead ask, have you watched Billions on Showtime?
That's going to do it for today's depressing episode. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.